now, coming to you live from atop the Lavender Town Radio Tower, it's the one, the only, PoGo Podcast.
It's PoGo! PoGo! It's PoGo! PoGo! Pokemon Underground Champions League, oh yeah! PoGo! PoGo!
Welcome to another episode of the PoGo Podcast. I'm your host, Trainer Thatch, here today with my spectacular co-host. We've got the one and only Sublimemanic
Meow.
and R.Sigma.
Hi, I'm here too, yes.
We're
here to bring you another episode of the PoGo Podcast. PoGo, of course, standing for the Pokemon Underground Champions League, a nonsensical name we came up with in 2007. I almost said 2024. Where we talk everything Pokemon from the trading card game to the video game to everything in between.
2008.
You have to go back in the future. Yeah, Back to the Future.
Yeah, Back to the Future. Actually, so the holidays happened, right? And as many people do, I went home for the holidays, and I visited my the original PoGo studio, which was my childhood bedroom. And my mom likes to complain a lot about me still having stuff there. Which is fine, I guess. She can complain about that.
That's just because it's healthy to complain.
Yeah. And so I forced her to go back there with me because the problem is in my bedroom is no longer just like my old bedroom isn't my things anymore, right? It's a combination of my things and the things my parents threw in that bedroom, right? So I made her go back there and I'm like, we're going to go through everything in that bedroom and we are going to clean it out. Like nothing in there is going to be my fault after we're done with this. That was my goal. And I did achieve that, thankfully. One of the things I found, though, which was crazy, I forgot that we did this. So it had relics from 2009 in it, because that was the last year I lived in that house. And in 2009, PoGo was going on, as many of you don't know. One of the number one comments I get about the podcast when I talk about the origins of the podcast on Twitch or something is everybody goes, well, the podcast started in 2012. And I'm like, no, they're just but the first episode says it came out in 2012. I go,
good pod, proper.
Well, the first good episodes didn't come out until 2013, let's be honest. But the show has existed since 2007 and it's wild to me. Just because people look at it and they'll be like, oh, the show started in 2012. But if you actually look at the first 100 or so episodes, they all say they came out in 2012. And that's because podcasting was the wild, wild west back before 2000, before you had a lot of modern podcasting hosting companies. And so to be able to host our podcast, we went through so many different things. It was kind of insane. We went through this service called mypodcast.com, which is actually used to play a little commercial on the front end of it to let people know that you were using mypodcast.com to host your podcast. It was free, which is why I used it. And there's actually a little commercial. If you actually listen to episode 30 of the podcast, that commercial's still there. And please don't go back and listen to it. But
I was going to say, usually you don't tell people to go back that far.
Yeah, I wouldn't go past if you really want to dig, the farthest I think I would ever go back is episode 116 is what I think I quote most people. It's whatever the X and Y release episode was.
I remember that era.
Yeah, that's that is the number one place I would go back to because that was a good time. But yeah, no. So either way, long story short, 2009, I found we used to do this because I used to record PoGo IRL with the original co-host Professor Sycamore before X and Y came out. By the way, so we didn't steal the name from the game, and we're that unoriginal. But there was Professor Sycamore who is on our show, and the way we used to do the emails instead of us both logging into the Gmail account, because smartphones weren't a thing yet, was we would print out all of the emails we were going to read. And what we would actually do is sit down and edit the emails just in case there was crude language or something in it. And then we would read it on the show by passing the binder back and forth with all the emails in it. So I found that binder. And that was a blast of the past. It was actually, I actually remember a lot of what was in there because we used to print out all the news stories and stuff too. So when we did the news segment, we could pass it back and forth. And in there was all of the information about the launch of Heart Gold Soul Silver, and all of the emails were about how we were wrong because we made an episode, I forget which number, I think it was 38 or something, where we talk about Pokemon Gold and Silver remakes before the announcement of Pokemon Heart Gold and Soul Silver. and just the amount of like ridiculous like stuff people would use as evidence that these games were coming. And we were just like, because like I remember at one point, like one of the things people were saying were Heart Gold and Soul Silver remakes were coming because, or not Heart Gold and Soul Silver, but Gold and Silver remakes were coming because in the Pokemon centers in Diamond and Pearl, the Pokeball at the center of the Pokemon Center is gold and silver. And I was just like, come on, guys. Like,
wow.
Confirmed.
I was like, dig a little bit deeper than that. And that's what that episode was about. But as always, everybody always thinks that I just like, first of all, I do talk a little bit in such a way that you guys can get upset and email us. But I also did it in such a way at that point just to be like, look how ridiculous like all of these people are saying these are the reasons. And then 2 weeks later, they announced Heart Gold, Soul Silver. And then this is the episode where we talked about the actual release. And all of the emails were just like, ha, you were wrong, Thatch. And I was like, well, I kind of want these games.
No, the real hint was Jasmine was there.
Yeah, no, that was also in there. I think the biggest hint at the time, I remember this very vividly, was that in the game code for Diamond and Pearl, it was the first game that would tell you like caught locations for Pokemon, right? Like if you had caught,
and it had
Johto.
Johto
it had
ones.
Johto as a caught location for the Pokemon. And so to me, I was just like, okay, so there's got to be a way for us to go to Johto to go get those Pokemon.
Mm-hmm.
That was the big one. But yeah, that was my holiday adventure. Also reading those emails, we would not read those emails on the show today. Like we just wouldn't. So thanks guys. Thanks for writing much better emails actually. Did you guys have a good holiday? Did you do anything Pokemon? I don't really care. Whichever one you want to talk about.
My favorite gift is a beautifully framed Snivy. To
Oh.
go with my collection of Snivy memorabilia.
That's cool.
Believe it or not,
Very
I collect
nice.
anything Snivy. Yeah.
I didn't know this about you. Can't say that with a straight face.
Yeah. Yeah, so
This
now-
is news.
so now Snivy framed on my wall, and I love. And I
That
love
is the
it.
new it. That this is something that I did not know about until
Not at
yeah.
all. No.
Yeah.
Who would have guessed?
Yeah, who would have thought? I never would have. Never dared. What about you, Sigma? Anything fun? Anything good come out for you? Did you do anything fun?
Well, I got a Greninja sitting cutie to sit above my monitor, so that's cool.
Okay.
It sits there
That's
with
good.
the Thwacky
Cool.
and the Cradily. And then I got a turbo controller for my speedruns. Because, my
Ooh.
god, it's a pain in the butt to mash those buttons during the, 5-minute cutscenes that are in Scarlet and Violet. It's so bad.
I couldn't believe so I was on stream on Thursday night and we decided to start streaming Pokemon X as a Nuzlocke, which is going to be happening again this Wednesday, by the way, for all of you listening. This Wednesday around 7 p.m. You can come to twitch.tv/ThePucklePodcast and watch Thatch stream some Pokemon Nuzlocke action where you get to nickname the Pokemon and we have a good time. We made it through the first batch, but either way, I played that game and I cannot say how much I prefer the pacing to that opening compared to any Pokemon game that has come out in the past decade.
Oh, they're slow now.
It is so slow. Like the fact that I can get my starter within the first literally 3 minutes of gameplay it was such a breath of fresh air. Like I couldn't believe it. And I understand why to some extent it's a little bit longer now. And that's because they're trying to set up larger stories, which I am grateful for, but I feel like it's not a linear, like the amount of story I get versus the amount of time it takes me to start the game to getting my starter is just like exponentially growing. You know what I mean? Like it is an exponential curve.
I mean, so with the speedruns, you could do a full game speedrun, and I believe the full game speedrun skipped like the first 3 minutes, like the first cutscene. They're like, yeah, you just load up a save. You don't worry about that.
Yep.
But the category speedruns, like right now I'm doing Path of Legends, where you're doing the Titans. You start after you go through the school tutorial. Like you reset for a good starter, and then you can just play from there, and it's much nicer because you don't have the tutorial.
Okay.
You still have a lot of movies and dialogue.
So you just
but
want like a good nature, or like
you need certain stats.
Mm.
Like mine is a little weak defensively, so I can just lose in the final fight to Arvin's stupid Greedent.
oh my god, that fight, yeah, first time going in blind. That was the first big like difficulty spike.
Pokemon Scarlet and Violet's good about that.
They are.
That Greedent is evil because He just body slams you, and you're praying that you don't get paralyzed as you shove X attacks down yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And then your Meowscarada hopefully sweeps. But
yeah, no,
lots of RNG.
Scarlet and Violet was good on that. Scarlet and Violet was good. I like Scarlet and Violet.
Same. I also didn't get any bugs. I got no bugs the first time, so I'm not mad about it.
I didn't have any bugs. Granted,
Yeah.
I feel like it's a tradition now for any Pokemon game to need like a patch within the first month that it comes out because there's an issue saving in the major hub city. Like that has just been
I
a
do
thing
remember that. Mm-hmm.
in every Pokemon game. Like I'm pretty sure Sword and Shield had something similar. I know X and Y did. X and Y was the first game they ever had to patch, and I just remember that saving in the big hub city.
I feel like Alola went okay.
I probably did. I don't think there's a big hub city, to be fair, in Alola.
There wasn't a big hub city, though. So.
Yeah.
There's just Tutoring Island, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
That whole first island is basically just like the tutorial.
Yeah. At least it's not too bad. Scarlet and Violet's intro is also very long, but at least they let you play the game during the tutorial, if that makes sense. Like you get your
I'm
starter.
not being held hostage by a school.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could just run off.
Well, you can run off to an extent, right? Like up until you get to the school, and then you kind of get locked into going to the school.
There's like 30 Pokemon out there you can catch before
Yeah.
you get to the school, though. Like,
Yeah.
there's a lot to explore.
No, I agree with you, and that's what makes it significantly better than like Alola or Sword and Shield. Sword and Shield was the worst one, in my honest opinion. Like Sword and Shield was pretty gross in terms of letting you play the game.
Mm-hmm.
There's Maximum Mofo. Is that what he goes by on YouTube? He might be not relevant anymore. I don't remember. Things move so fast now.
I have no clue.
And I remember he was like a big Pokemon. Well, he's not a Pokemon YouTuber, but he was a big YouTuber that played Pokemon. That's the way to put it, I think.
Gotcha. I understand that.
And I just remember there's a clip of him like playing Sword and Shield where he goes and he's in the intro section and he's still with like Leon and Hop, and he like throws his controller down because it's been 45 minutes and he's still on like the Route 1 where like the Choodle is and stuff like that, just screaming, "Let me play the game." He just screams, "Just let me play the game. I can't believe it's taking this long." And I feel that frustration. I'm not going to lie. I felt the same way with not to the same extent.
Walking through the Slumbering Wold takes
Yes. I think up until
the Slumbering Wold is a little slow.
up until you see Professor Magnolia, it takes a very long time. It is very slow.
I mean, one positive for Sword and Shield is if you catch a Pokemon and then get to the catching tutorial, they're like, "Oh,
You already know.
you're good. Here's 20 balls. See
You
ya."
already know. Yeah.
Thank God.
You understand. All right.
Thank God. I just remember like the biggest meme to me is when you play Pokemon. So like when you play Red and Blue, one, you could you get the Pokemon catching tutorial, but in Gold and Silver, you get to the Pokemon catching tutorial and the guy goes, "Do you want to learn how to catch Pokemon?" And you just say no, and he's like, "Okay," and you just move on. And I wish every Pokemon game had
I
that.
understand.
I wish every Pokemon game had that, where I could just say no, and the NPC would be like, "Okay, that's all I want. That's all I want." Oh, but yeah. Oh,
But we
right.
don't always get what we want.
ain't that real? All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and kick us on over to what is probably gonna be the shortest news segment of the year. So let's cue that epic music.
Coming to you live from the Lavender Town Radio Tower. This just in.
Welcome to the news. In the news, we've got very little to talk about. It is the last week of the year. In Pokemon Scarlet and Violet news, reminder, the Shiny Rayquaza raids last until Sunday. I need to go do those before I forget. I really want to do this. I don't understand the hype between this behind this Shiny Rayquaza thing, but I'm kind of getting swept up in it, and I don't know why.
People love Shiny
Don't we all have
Rayquaza.
shiny
It's cool.
Rayquazas from like forever ago from giveaways? Like how many giveaways?
I mean, yes, because we're old.
Mm-hmm.
We're old. We got the Gen 5 ones, or
We don't
Gen
count.
6, or whenever they were released.
I don't remember, but yeah,
We don't count.
I remember the year of. Do you remember the year of Mythicals?
Yes.
I missed
oh
that.
gosh.
That was so
I
good.
do. That was a good year. I just like
I
when
got my yeah.
they had all those box sets for the TCG with the Generations packs in them, and I remember
collecting those pins.
I remember collecting them, and what hurts me is like I'll go to like a collectible store or something, and you'll see like an old box of those, and they're worth like $80-$90 now. And I was like, man, those were like $10 boxes.
I think it was 12 or something. It might have been 12. I think it was like 12 or 13.
Yeah.
But nowadays, you probably couldn't buy them because the scalpers get them first. I loved having scalpers in this game. So fun.
All right. And then speaking of Sunday night, on Sunday, Rev Your Miraidon's Regulation G is returning to the VGC because why not? Why not? We have this game probably for 2 more years for VGC. So why not?
You know, the future stuff has to have its moment too, maybe.
Yeah, I fully expect I did see a theory that I semi want to believe is true, but it's probably not. The other like 60% of me hopes it's not true. 40% of me would be like, yeah, it's kind of nice because we're kind of like in a game drought. But what I have heard is that there's a chance that Legends Z to A like comes out middle of next year, which is kind of weird. And especially given like how many copies Legends Arceus sold in January. It just sold so many copies that I believe like Legends Z to A probably could be a monster at Christmas time. And I fully believe the Switch 2 announcement is coming in January. So I imagine that they're gonna. I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't know anymore, really. But the Switch 2 is gonna be announced.
Like I could see it being a mid-year,
wait a year for Gen 10.
Probably, but yeah, I could see our Legends ZA to be like an August game, just because it's Switch 1, and they probably want to sell a Switch 2 game in the November slot.
Yeah,
so.
I see that. I don't know. I don't think there's anything stopping them from doing 2 games in the November slot, if that makes sense. Like, I could see a world where they do.
I could see something else being there.
I could see.
But I don't know
what it would be, because I've seen so many rumors for the Switch 2, but I've heard 0 rumors about games.
Wait, you think they'd put out 2 games in November at the same time?
I think they would.
It's possible.
2 Pokemon games? 2 different, not different.
Two different games, probably. Like I could see a Pokemon game being one. I could see Pokemon Legends Z
like Mario
being the Switch 1 title, which is the hey, you haven't bought a Switch 2 yet, but here's a game that'll play on your original Switch and on your Switch 2. Right. But I also see them just like, hey, here's Super Mario 3D in this slot as well, for Switch 2 only. And I can see that because there was a release that was kind of like this back in 2016. In 2016, Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire and Super Smash Bros. Wii U both came out on the same day. Those were both launched on the same day.
I mean, they did that a lot.
Yeah, and I would argue the Switch and the Switch 2 are slightly different.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Are they?
I mean, the thing is, you can play the Switch 1 games on the Switch 2.
Exactly.
You can play Switch 1 on Switch 2. So, like, you're selling 2 games to the Switch 2 players at the same time, which maybe they don't want to do. I don't know.
I mean, if they're 2 bangers, I don't know what's
library.
the difference.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I digress. Move on. You've got this next section, Sublime.
Yeah, there's Party Hat Wurmple coming back for New Year's, so...
Woo.
Party Hat Wurmple in the house tonight. Also, an event featuring Fido is starting on Friday, but it has to be unlocked by the community, so good luck to that.
Okay. Have fun.
And
it's cold outside.
Sprigatito Community Day is Sunday. Well, I guess it depends where you live, right? Maybe you're south.
That's true.
And it's warm.
Maybe you're in Australia.
Good for you.
Mm-hmm.
Could be. So yeah, Sprigatito Community Day on Sunday. So
cool.
Get your grass cat.
Actually, that's good news. I'm gonna let my wife know. She'll probably want to catch a shiny one.
I was gonna say it's a lot better than breeding in Scarlet and Violet, and that's the only way to get it right now. So it actually is a community people probably are happy for.
Oh, I forgot you could transfer. I forgot you could hypothetically transfer from Go into the mainline games with enough.
Not even hypothetically, you physically can.
No, you can, but like such effort.
All right, so take us to the TCG news, Sigma.
All right. Yeah. So in Japan, they have started showing off the next set, which is the trainer-based Pokemon. Looking at 2 of them so far, Iono and her belly bolt have infinite electric attaches. So it's like Blastoise that has infinite water attaches, but it only goes on Iono Pokemon, so it's not broken. It's not completely broken. It doesn't break Miraidon. And then Hop, people have been comparing it to Buzzrock of the Sun and Moon era. Oh, cool. Because Double has Lycanroc GX's ability where you evolve it, you get to boss something up.
Oh, but that's like the same as like the Umbreon VMAX too, right? The Umbreon VMAX was the same thing, or did the same thing.
Yeah. Except it's just a little guy. It's just a little guy this time.
Just a little guy.
So now Wooloo's going to be in like a bunch of decks.
Cool.
The main card is like Zacian, which has like 1 steel. It does 30 plus 30 to the bench. And then there's a million cards that boost the power of your attacks, like a Snorlax that gives Hop Pokemon 30 damage, Hop's Choice Band that gives 30 damage, a Stadium that gives Hop Pokemon 30 damage.
I love this idea of like multicolored decks just around a trainer. Like, I love the idea.
It's a very parasitic mechanic, but it's really cool.
I like it. I hope it works out.
I'm a fan of it. I'm interested.
I hope it works out. Like,
it'll last a year or two, and then they'll do something else.
I like this better than tag team.
I mean, it should be downpowering things. Like, this is downpowering things. I'm okay with it. Because it's mostly parasitic. You want to play the cards with each other so they don't break out into other things. Though Double does, but that's beside the point. So I'm okay with this. Like, this is healthy compared to, like, Terapagos and Pikachu. Like,
absolutely.
This is a good direction. I'm cool with this.
Is it better than Terapagos or Pikachu? Because those are still, like...
We don't know yet, because we have to see the full set, but, you know.
Word.
Mm-hmm. And it looks like you put something, the next Badge Bonanza, which I need to talk to people and get stuff moving for that in the next week, is going to be Legends. What do you mean by this, Sigma? What does this mean?
Legends Arceus.
We just play it? That's it?
Yep, just casual playthrough.
Into it.
That,
and you get a badge. I am working out details for the Badge Bonanza this year, so that if you compete in the Badge Bonanza, you will get like some bigger prize at the end of the year. We're also instituting new badges where just for participating, you'll get a badge. Like if you participate in the community doing the monthly activity.
Yeah, there's tiered badges where it's like...
Yep. If you complete the goal, you go from like the silver version of the badge to the gold version of the badge. And it's going to be awesome.
Mm-hmm.
There's going to be a new bot that tracks everything. All the badges you got today are probably going to be rolled into like a legacy badge. Thank you for playing on our beta. Kind of like the beta deck box from TCG Live. Thank you for playing in our beta. We rolled everything that you got into the beta. But this year, there's going to be bigger things. If you have all the badges, you're going to be able to cash them in for some kind of cool Puckle reward at the end of the year. I have yet to figure out what that is. I'm thinking it might be like some kind of pin or something, though. Like, hey, you got like a physical thing for doing this.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
cool.
more details to come, but there will be something near the end of the year.
Stay tuned.
Yeah. So yeah, go play in Puckle's Badge Bonanza. You should do it. It's fun. I enjoy it. Everybody likes it. All right, though, in everybody's favorite part of the show, Wo-Chian's News Corner. News brought to you at a snail's pace. 10 years ago this week, nothing was really happening, just like now. There were special rules, though, in the battle, on the online battles where the only items you could use were berries. And Puckle's pokey opinion. Thoughts on Pocket's first expansion? My thoughts are I haven't picked up Pocket to care.
Well, you know, there may be a certain Pokemon that's doing really well.
I was going to say, there's a Snivy that's good.
Snivy Celebi I saw something about, right? That's going on.
It's kind of it's having a moment. It's not like the best deck. It's not the best deck, but it's a usable deck.
I've seen a lot of people complain about those heads.
Yeah.
I've seen the coin flips not turn out well. I like Gyarados. I was able to wonder pick 2 Gyarados.
Gyarados is the best deck.
Gyarados. Yeah, Gyarados Greninja's fun.
Yeah.
And Mew's a cute tech card. Good for Mew.
Mm-hmm.
Mew is a fun tech card. I slapped that in a bunch of things. It's cute.
Like, I'm okay with Mew existing because it just blows out a Charizard. And that's cool.
And it's great against Mewtwo's as well.
Yes, also true.
Oh, so fun against Mewtwo's. Oh, yeah. Really eats those two.
All right. Well, that's going to be it for the news. We're going to kick things on over now to Puckle's Poke Quiz. We're going to quiz your co-host on their insane Pokemon knowledge.
hi, and welcome to the Poke Quiz, the part of the show where we quiz our co-hosts on their insane Pokemon knowledge. I'm Mark from the Dunsparce gang, here to explain the rules. Our fabulous co-hosts will work as a team to answer 5 Pokemon-themed trivia questions that fans have submitted on the Discord server. Each question is worth 1 point, with Pokedex and multiple answer questions worth more, for a total of 7 points. The host can use a free hint at any time. If they get all the answers correct and do not use the hint, they can cash it in for an 8th point.
Welcome to Puckle's Poke Quiz. We are going to start here with our first question. Our first question this week is going to come from Bergwine, Raikou enjoyer. In generations 2 through 4 of Pokemon, Raikou is able to learn 2 ground-type moves. What are they?
Well, that's oddly specific.
Honestly, if you get one of them, I'll probably give you the point, but yeah.
Is Sand Attack a
So my
ground
guess-
move or a normal move?
I'm going to say these are damage
I feel like it's a ground
moves,
move.
just
My
something
thought
to
was
throw you
Mud
off.
Slap. I feel like Mud Slap was one of them, but I don't know for
Maybe
sure.
Mud Slap. Yeah.
Because I feel like they
Are we locking in
probably
Mud
give
Slap?
it Mud Slap, just because it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Let's try Mud Slap.
Because it could just flip a paw. Yeah, flip a paw. Slap some mud.
Mud Slap is correct. Yeah, it does learn Mud Slap.
Yay! Okay.
Mud Slap is a TM, obviously.
I
in
think
Gen
it was
2.
Faulkner's TM, so.
Yeah.
Which makes
Yeah.
even less sense.
It
Less sense.
It also got Dig.
Dig was my next guess, actually.
Yeah, it used to get Dig.
I mean, that
Like,
makes sense.
What if they let
Everything
it
learns
dig?
Dig.
Yeah.
Everything learned Dig. That's
Yep.
fine.
Yep, you're correct. Well, that is, you guys are 1 for 1 on that. Your next
Yay.
question, and hopefully you guys really like your trading card game, is going to come from Oricorio is cool. Oh, wait, no, it's not. Sorry, that's the wrong question. I apologize, Oricorio is cool.
Oricorio, you are so
No.
cool, though.
But we still appreciate
Don't
you.
worry about it.
This is from... Actually, I've asked this question. I just realized I've asked this question. I can't ask you that one. I have already used it.
Rip.
I'm going to go ahead with this one from The Afterman. In which generations of games are you unable to find / catch a Pikachu?
5.
Gen 5.
Gen 5
Gen
is correct.
5,
That
black
I
and
mean, you
white.
can
very
catch it in
famously.
Dream
is,
World.
that is correct.
Yeah, you can catch it
But
in
we don't
Dream
have
Dream
that,
World does
but that's
not
it.
count. Stop. Don't hurt me.
If I have to
That's
log
gone
onto my
now.
computer, no.
Dream World was...
That doesn't
like,
exist anymore.
Oh my god,
the worst
traumatizing.
attempt.
Don't make me think about Dreamworld again. Ugh. And that's how you had to get all the good, like, hidden abilities? Do you remember using Dreamworld to get a freaking, like,
Yes.
Drought Vulpix? Because I do.
Drought
Yeah,
Vulpix,
I do.
Poison Heal Gliscor.
I remember
yeah,
going through and praying that to find it. Like, yeah.
I remember doing a lot of it for a Nidoran so that I could get the Sheer Force Nidoking.
Yeah, I remember that.
Ooh,
I remember
so
doing
good,
this.
Yeah.
Ugh,
I do remember
Not the Dreamworld. Ooh.
Dreamworld was terrible. Dreamworld was the worst. And what was even worse about
They-
it was
they eventually-
you weren't even guaranteed to get a Pokemon
No,
by
you
playing
weren't.
Dreamworld. It was
No, you got, like-
imagine if
Didn't
you
get,
weren't
like,
alive.
3 things or something?
Yeah, like if you weren't around for this
I'm
era
Barry.
of Pokemon, you missed out on so much nonsense. Like imagine like the worst
Will
Flash
Ferrell.
website you ever could, but you had to upload a Pokemon to it, which was already a feat in itself in the year of our Lord 2011. Oh God. Okay, I'm sorry. I this isn't the topic. We're in Poke Quiz. So all right, our next question is your Pokedex entry question as always, and this is going to come to you from Gold Cheese Stick, but without the last E on cheese for some reason. And the Dex entry they start with is going to come from Pokemon Scarlet.
Okay.
A transparent mucus membrane covers its body. Touching it barehanded will cause a tingling numbness. Who's that Pokemon?
So my first thought is Goomy.
Okay, because my first thought was like the Reuniclus line,
It's
but
a
I don't
Gomi
think
or
that would cause the
Solosis line,
tingling
right?
numbness, right? Like, I don't see the numbness coming from Reuniclus. I would hope not.
That's why I was going Goomy, because
Yeah, let's go
Goomy
with Goomy.
is a bacteria, whereas Reuniclus, I mean, maybe its psychic powers do it. It's one of those lines is where I'm at with it. I just don't know which one.
Yeah, let's go with Goomy.
Goomy is unfortunately incorrect. Your next entry is going to come from Pokemon Pearl.
Okay, so it's older than Goomy. Okay.
When the temperature cools,
Andrea Nicholas.
they emerge from the water to seek food along the shore.
Shellos
No, I don't think so.
has a gooey membrane that would go on shore.
Like, I don't think it would be Tentacool. I hope it's not Tentacool.
I hope it's not Tentacool.
Is this the is this a Toad School origin story? Oh no, I never knew.
All dried up.
So a watery
Could you
membrane,
repeat?
like
Yeah, watery membrane. It's transparent.
yeah,
That does make me
Which is
think
weird.
Tentacool, to be honest.
yeah, but it's going up on land, right?
Could
So
we get a repeat of that second Pokedex entry?
Sure, let me double check to make sure that it is correct and I'm reading it correctly, but yes, momentarily. We said Pokemon Pearl. Yes, when the temperature cools in the evening, they emerge from the water to seek food along the shore.
That's so disturbing.
right, I'm concerned. I don't know what it is, but I'm concerned. Oh, would it be like Wooper?
You know, maybe it's
Maybe.
Wooper or Quagsire. Well,
I
maybe
hope-
it's
I hope it's
Quagsire.
Wooper.
Well, no, I don't think it is.
It could be Quagsire.
Because Wooper could go out at all hours.
It's not
I
like
feel
transparent.
Yeah.
Like the water cools, so it wants to come out. I don't know. Like I could see that being a clear membrane over it. Like
I don't feel like it's
I could see it being
Shellos.
Quagsire.
No, because
It's
all
definitely
of its
in the Pearl Dex.
entries would be about east and west, or so.
yeah, it would be about the differences.
Maybe it's Tentacool.
Probably.
I'm
I
leaning
really hope it's not
at the
Tentacool.
moment.
I don't think
It's
Tentacool
got
comes
two
out of the
arms
cold waters.
or appendages. It's got two
Like I don't think
appendages.
this is the Toad School origin story. It would be funny if it was, though. It would be hilarious if it was. It was there the entire time, huh? All right, we can do Tentacool, I guess.
I got nothing else at the moment.
Tentacool is unfortunately incorrect. The answer
I don't know that I
is-
want to know is the thing.
It's Wooper. It is Wooper.
It
Okay,
was
that's
Wooper. Ew.
It was
Why is
Wooper.
Wooper wearing
Whoop,
a
whoop.
clear membrane that... Oh, Wooper.
I-
Wooper.
I know. Whoop. Gosh.
Whoop whoop.
Whoop. Indeed.
Whoop. It's over.
One sec. I lost the question. I had found the question that I was going to ask you guys for your multiple answer question. So sorry, I'm pulling this live out of the trivia submissions channel on our Discord. If you'd
Out
like
of
to
the-
add questions to our Poke Quiz.
You
so-
you ran the well dry last week. What can we say?
We just ate up a lot of those questions last week. I'm not gonna lie.
There
This
was
one
a
is
stockpile
also-
and now it's like gone.
It's gone. We just blew through it. All right. This next question is from the Afterman. Once again, there are 28 Pokemon that have access to the water absorb ability. Can you name
20?
the 5 non-water type Pokemon that have the water absorb
With
ability?
water absorb?
Oh,
Yeah, there are 5 of them
Sure.
without it. I will give you. You guys are, what are you right now? You're 2 for 3. I will give you up to 4 points on this question. 1 point for the first 3 that you name, and then if you get the last 2, you get the 4th point. Make sense?
all right. So I know 2. Yeah.
Okay, 2 of them.
I know 2.
Lock me in.
I think. I think 2 of them would be Cacnea.
3 strikes and you're
Cacturn,
out, by the
right?
way.
Sublime.
Cacnea,
Cacnea,
Cacturn
Cacturn,
are both
yes.
correct. They are both correct, yeah.
And I was going to
All
say Credilli, but I can't remember if it gets water absorb
No, that's
or
Storm
Storm
Drain.
Drain. And you would know.
No, it's suction cups. Yeah. No, I'm good on that one. It's not good.
You absolutely
I knew
have
you
the
would
one
be.
person that
I knew
would
you
know.
would It's like, let me just inquire real quick.
Nah, Storm Drain works kind of like water absorb, but it is not.
Kinda.
Oh,
absorb.
Speaking of
any other-
Woopers, it's the Paldean Wooper line.
Oh, it is. Okay, yeah.
Paul
Clodsire
Wooper and
and
Clodsire
Paldean
are
Wooper.
both correct. That is 2. You have 3. You have 3. There's one more
Yeah.
Pokemon. You still have 3 strikes.
Okay,
You
Oh,
do have the hint as well, by the way.
what is it? Maractus. I know it has Storm Drain, but
Are we locking in Maractus?
Like,
we might as well, because I feel like we killed.
Might
it
as
with
well. We have
Back
three.
Turn and
We have
Paldean
3
Looper.
strikes.
Yeah.
Maractus is correct. You knocked that one out of the park there,
Ooh,
guys.
those
It is
cactus.
Maractus.
Yeah.
It is Maractus.
Another cactus
got all
with
5.
water.
So you got 4. So you're 6 for 4 here. Now we're gonna go to
Love
our
that.
base stat question. Our base stat question, as always. I believe I've used all of that before, so I need to find a new one. Let me take a quick look here. I specifically, when I did a call for extra questions for last week, I specifically said don't do base stat questions, which is making them harder to
And
find.
here we are.
Look where we are. Look where that got us.
Look what you've
where that
done
got us
now.
right now. Look what I did to myself. Look what I did. Oh no. You know what? We're gonna go old school here, and we're gonna go to Pokemon DV and just pick something up real quick. All right, so we are gonna choose dragon types. Okay, what dragon type Pokemon has the highest base defense of all dragon type Pokemon?
Defense.
Based event.
Defense. What's Turtonators?
So I don't know. It's probably high. My thought was going to Archelodon, which is also high.
Yeah, our
Oh, we have a
a
hint.
good choice.
We have a hint.
Oh yeah, let's use the hint.
It's not worth anything.
I could be real
So-
mean here.
Well, if we're
it's-
spending our hint,
It's a dual type. There.
we gathered.
I bet. I bet.
I'm
It's-
pretty sure we knew that.
It's a dual type dragon. I'm trying to think of a good hit. You know what? Let me see if I can give you a fun. Oh my gosh! I was gonna give you the species, but that gives it away.
Something tells me it wasn't going to be Goodra.
Was it a
this-
bridge?
I don't. Was it a bridge? The bridge? No, it's not the bridge Pokemon. I did not. Let me take a look. I think I found a fun fact about this Pokemon that is not normal, but doesn't give it away entirely. Yeah, actually, okay. It doesn't have. It only has one ability. No hidden ability. No nothing. Just nothing. Just one ability.
Huh. Okay, so
Okay.
it's not a bridge. Huh. One
It's
ability.
a fun fact. It
Dragon
only has
type.
one ability.
So fun.
Isn't that a fun fact?
Dragon defense. Why couldn't it be HP and we could say Guzzlord and be out of here?
We could have said Guzzlord and left.
Oh no, because it's not even Guzzlord. It's that stupid Eternatus boss fight.
We're not using the Eternamax Eternatus. That is not a real Pokemon. You cannot catch it. Anybody that uses that any of these questions is wrong for using it.
This is true. They are.
If that's the case, then we should be using every Pokemon that existed in PokeStar Studios that you can't catch.
I would love that, but that's okay. That'd be chaos.
So having only one ability makes me think it might be
maybe it's a
legendary?
mega. Yeah.
Or it could be a paradox or a mega, yeah. There were a lot of dragon megas for no reason. But most of them were super offensive, except for Ampharos.
I remember Mega Salamence
randomly
having very
defensive.
high defense.
I don't think it's the highest, though. Because it also got, like, a lot of speed.
Yeah, it did.
Salamence was good on, like, all stats.
I'm just trying to think of things with
But-
one ability, and that's tricky. That's tricky.
Like, gouging fire, I don't think is that high. Like, I don't
Definitely
think it's as high as, like,
not.
Turtonator. And that would
Well,
be, like, the
actually,
highest defense among dragon paradoxes, I think. So,
I'm gonna need an answer here.
I'm still feeling Turtonator, which was the first thing I said.
yeah, but it has, like, 3
Is-
abilities. It has a hidden ability, I'm pretty
What are-
sure.
I don't know that. I never use it.
I don't
I'm gonna
know.
need an answer.
Would it be Ultra Necrozma? I don't think so.
I
don't think it's that high.
I think that thing is just hyper offensive.
But that only
not
has one ability.
impressive.
That's what I felt too.
I
I'm
don't,
just
what's this
trying
one
to think of
ability?
legends.
Michigas.
I need an
Yeah,
answer.
this one
here,
ability
guys.
thing is
I
really-
need- you have 30 seconds, and I just take silence,
Evil.
or I'll take Turtonator.
can we just take... I'm gonna go with Turtonator right now. I don't know. Because I feel like a lot of the legendaries have, like, pressure as a hidden ability, you know?
Mm-hmm. Like, most of them have an
I was wondering
offensive
about,
focus,
like,
so-
the fancy schmancy Dialga, you know?
10
Horse
seconds.
Dialga, but
The bad one.
Turtonator.
I don't think it got much defense, though. That's the
Turtonator?
issue.
Are we taking Turtonator?
That's why. Yeah, I'm just
Turtonator.
going with Turtonator.
Turtonator.
I don't know.
Turtonator is correct.
Oh my god.
What? It has more
It's only
abilities.
ability.
No, it doesn't. It only has shell armor. It has no other abilities than shell armor.
Wow.
Really? Yeah,
Justice for
really,
Justice
fun
for
fact.
Turtonator. Let's get it a couple of abilities because it don't need it.
It's not like it would
I'm kind
use
of
them
shocked at
anyway.
this.
It does have the highest
Yeah.
base defense though, being at 135. Archaladon and Mega Salamence are tied for second at
Only
130.
135.
And then Komodo is
Huh.
in fourth with 125, and Gouging Fire and a couple of Zygardes follow up with 121.
That's pretty
That's so
close.
low.
That's pretty close.
Mm-hmm. It is very low. You are
That's
correct.
so low.
You are correct. Yeah.
Meanwhile, what was the Eternatus Eternamax?
Stop.
defense?
It's
I'm just
250.
curious.
It's 250.
Ah, you see, it should have been that.
It's not a real answer. It doesn't count. You can't catch it. All right. Well, that is going to be it. Oh, wait. I have to do the points. I forgot. I have to do points. I owe you all points for playing the game. Playing my game.
You're
you
good
got,
for it.
You got 7 today. We're going to go ahead and add that in. Oh, wow. You guys both are tied for first as of right now.
Oh, cool.
In our race to getting in the top 4 for next year, by the end of next whatever it is, and then everybody else is is below that because we're only like 4 weeks in. So that's the standings today because it's being weird and not letting me select things the way I want to select them. All right. Well, with that, guys, if you want more Pokel's Poke Quiz, you can tune in next week. But until then, we are going to kick it on over to your topic. Hey, Thatch here. A lot of you have been asking how you can hang out with us during the week. Well, the best way to do so is come to our Discord server at pucklediscord.com. You can join our server and you can hang out with us, talk Pokemon, battle, do a bunch of cool things, join in our tournaments. So what's stopping you? Come on over, pucklediscord.com. You can jump right on in and have a good time talking with the hosts of the show as well as the large community we've gathered over the years. So come on. Let's hang out. Welcome to the topic. Our topic today is Pokemon in 2024. This is the last episode of 2024 for the Puckle podcast. And we decided just to take the time to reflect on what Pokemon did this year. And I honestly don't know. They announced a really cool game concept and then went completely silent about it for the past 8 months. Or 10 months. 10 months. Oh my gosh. I can't math. They went silent for 10 months. I don't expect to hear anything about it until we hit the 1-year anniversary mark for the trailer. So that's exciting.
I guess. We're only 2 months away now, so...
I mean, at least we know they're doing something.
Yeah, we're closer to this Pokemon Day than we are to the release of that trailer, which I think is really fun. Not really, that's sarcasm, but I really wish they would have just like said something about it. Like even when they announced the game, well, I guess they did. They said a 2025 release, right? When they announced it.
Yeah, they told us it was going to be this.
It was gonna be 2025. I wish they would have given us a quarter.
There's like 2 days left in the.
I wish they would have given us a quarter for 2025, but
It would have been nice.
Okay.
It's clearly not Q1.
Clearly not. I don't know. It's Legends, so like I do feel like we were talking about earlier that they can get away with releasing it at a funky time. Just because looking at the sales for Legends Arceus coming out in January, which is a notorious time for any kind of entertainment content, it's just like notoriously bad for any kind of content. For those of you unaware, like January is when all of the worst movies come out. It is when all of the worst video games come out.
To be fair, in gaming, there was like a trend for like the past a few years ago where like Capcom would put out a really solid game in January, like a Resident Evil remake that everyone loved. People were thinking maybe January can be a time that good games can come out. Unfortunately, it kind of proves that like when your audience is mostly kids who want to get things for Christmas, probably shouldn't be right after that. period of time.
Okay, but like Legends Arceus did really well sales figure wise for coming out in January.
Yes.
In my mind, I think that a Legends game itself, now that like Legends Arceus is the predecessor, right? And so everybody's thinking this is like the follow-up to Legends Arceus. What are they going to do? Hopefully they don't stray too much from Legends Arceus in terms of gameplay. They can totally do it in a different quote-unquote format, but as long as the gameplay is similar, I think it goes well.
Like, as long as you're playing as the character, like, if you can roll around, I'm kind of happy.
If you can roll around...
If I can roll, I'm...
And you can throw Pokeballs, and it's more about catching than it is about battling, I think it goes well. I think you could even change the battle system. I think that, like, if it were me,
they probably will do something different, yeah.
I think they will, even just based on that short little trailer.
If you got rid of the strike system, I'd be okay with it.
Oh, they'll absolutely get rid of the strike system. Because that's like a very Hisui thing, if that makes sense.
That was weak.
Yeah, I feel like we're gonna get something more close.
We're gonna get a battle style that fits the region.
It felt very Urshifu.
Yes.
It felt very Urshifu, which made no sense.
Yeah, I think we're gonna get a battle system that is more akin to something you'd see in Kalos. Like, I really saw like dynamic battles in that trailer. And so I'm wondering if we're gonna get something like, if you're gonna change one thing about the Pokemon Legends Arceus format, it has to be the battle system. It was by far, in my opinion, and in a lot of other people's opinions,
it was the weakest point. It was very much the weakest point.
And I think you could go ahead and take a look at, maybe not Legends Arceus per se, or not the battle system, but you could take a look at Kalos, and you could wipe that whole thing out and make a new battle system. Maybe that's the trend for Pokemon Legends, is the catching's the main focus, but we have a cool different battle system each time, which would be fine. I'd be super into that. I could see this even being the game. Like, this is a wild out there concept that probably doesn't exist. This doesn't make any sense, and I probably shouldn't say it. But this would be the game where you take control of the Pokemon when you battle. You know what I mean? Like, I could see. I don't see.
I could see that working at some point for this. Like, for the Legends series, I could see it work out.
I could see it working for Legends. I don't think it's happening. Yes, exactly. I just don't see it happening. But I definitely expect that to change.
Maybe not this title, but like a future Legends title is where
I'm sure we'll find out in like 2 months, and they'll be like, yeah, here's the gameplay. I mean, they're gonna
would love an update. Yeah.
At Pokemon Day, they're definitely gonna give us an update. I am just confused because I also kind of expect them to like tease a little bit of Gen 10, but my worry is they try to like announce it.
I could see it, and I'm scared of that. I'm so terrified.
I want them to take their time. Like, it's fine. Take their time.
Okay, but after like the Legends Z to A announcement in this year, where we have had very little in terms of like mainline Pokemon content, I think that they could get away with one, hey, here's the full trailer for Z to A, here's a release date, or something close to a release date, right? Like, here's a quarter, here's the gameplay loop, blah, blah, blah. And then I could see after that in the Pokemon Presents, right at the end, like a new Pokemon, right? And maybe just like the logos for the new games.
Okay, so here's what I could see. I could see a world where they confirm that Gen 10 is on both Switch and Switch 2. And that would be like the worst case scenario and best case scenario. I don't know.
That certainly happens.
But I could see something like that confirmation coming out from them. And that would be really weird. But like, because people will not take that well. I think it would be smart, but I don't know.
Anything that Pokemon does is not going to be taken well by the community, because the community is the Pokemon community. I don't know. It's the same problem of
once a fan base gets to a certain size, you're always going to have people angry at every.
Exactly. Yeah, you're exactly correct.
The Pokemon community is unfathomably large with different expectations. Like, you're never going to make everyone happy.
It's too large to please. Yeah.
You are absolutely correct.
And too big to fail. It is both of those things.
You are all correct. It is just terrible in terms of you're just never going to make everybody happy. It's fandom. I mean, it's the same thing that happened in like the Star Wars fandom.
Well, let's hope it's not that bad, but yes.
Yeah.
Let's not have professional actors facing real world consequences because of a bunch of incompetent adults.
I mean, we're not Disney bad yet. We're not Disney bad yet.
I don't know. I don't know.
We're not Disneyvil. We're just dark types.
But yeah, that is it's an interesting take. But yeah, I don't know.
Pokemon trading card game Pocket came out this year.
Pocket did come out this year. That has been a fun little exercise.
I enjoy opening packs, but
it made more money than it made so much money so fast is what I will say. The amount of money it made, I think, is worth it.
I think it's in the same boat as Pokemon Go. You know what I mean?
So it's not going anywhere.
No, I don't think Pocket's going anywhere, especially since it's being developed by Pokemon proper, right?
Yeah. I think it made more money in a month or in an extremely short period of time than Unite has ever made, which is...
Oh yeah, Unite has made very little money in general, right?
Which is shocking when I think of how expensive things are.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but it's so easy to play free to play on that game.
It is. I just assume the whales pay for everything, So we're all just, riding off the back of whales.
I think even the whales were upset about I think the whales were mad about the new loot boxes they added this year. And it's just costumes, too. I don't care about costumes at all for Unite, so it's...
Unite's not being made by Pokemon proper. Yeah, so, it's a different-ish ball game, I guess. I don't know. It's in the same boat as Pokemon Go, where I feel like Pokemon's just as long as this company doesn't do anything offensive, it's just going to keep happening.
I do hope that Pocket never gets, into Worlds. I don't think it's a Worlds...
No, I don't think it's competitive enough for that
style game, and I don't think it's healthy for competitive. But I don't know. I don't either, but I feel like people want that. And I don't think it should happen.
I don't think it will. I don't think that one will.
I think it should stay away from Worlds. Just
I am legitimately waiting for we got that Pokemon Go set for the TCG a few years ago. I wouldn't be surprised if we get a Pokemon Pocket set, right? If I were Pokemon,
where you get the immersive arts.
Maybe not immersive arts, but you get the special arts. You get the notable ones from the first couple of sets on TCG Pocket. Just the same exact artworks. And you just slap them into a special set. And I think that sells pretty well. I think if I were Pokemon, that would be my overall goal. It would be, hey, let's convert, 1%, probably not even 1%, but convert some percentage of Pocket players to the IRL TCG.
I mean, I feel like that probably happens naturally anyway, so they don't need to worry too much.
It probably does to an extent, but I feel like you push them even further by being hey, you had these cards there and you wish you could own them in real life. Well, now here's your chance, right? So I'm that's what I would say you should do.
Conversely, I've been loving when they use really old art in Pocket.
Yeah, right?
I absolutely agree with that, actually. I do agree with that.
The quote-unquote new Magic art. It's just the oldest Magic art. Love that.
I love when they use the old art. They have a lot of the OG art in Pocket, which is really cute.
They have Fat Pikachu. Okay. Yeah, loving it.
We're here for Fat Pikachu, okay? I absolutely agree with you.
Everyone respects Fat Pikachu.
Everyone that was around for Fat Pikachu.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, Pocket was a fun surprise. I didn't expect to enjoy it as much as I did, and I'm okay with the free-to-play mode on it.
Yeah, your little, every 12 hours, it's like a pack of cigarettes, right? 2 a day. You get your 2 a days,
Yeah, 2 packs a day. 2 packs a day, yeah. I'm all for it. I do wish you could stack the packs more than 2 a day. You could hold on to more. If I didn't play for a week.
You could do a setting.
I wish I could open 14.
They gotta incentivize you to play every day because that's how they get you.
I know.
They need you to open the app.
I wish it was more than just 2 a day, because honestly that stresses me out, which is why I stopped playing, because I was trying to min-max the times and it was just stressing me out and I couldn't handle it.
I just check it when I get up and when I go to sleep.
And even if it was 3, it takes 12 hours to boost to give me 1 pack, but it can store up to 3. That way I can open my 2.
And then the countdown still goes.
And the countdown's still going, exactly. I think that would make me feel better. But this is definitely
2 with countdown still going, maybe, or something like that.
Yeah, this is still genuinely just a me problem and nobody else's problem. So like, I'm not asking them to cater to me, but like it's why I stopped playing. I don't know if other people feel that way. I just wish the timer would keep counting a little bit so I wouldn't, if I like missed a pack or something, I wasn't like screwed. And in terms of like, I feel like I'm losing out, right? Like the FOMO is too strong.
Like I don't like personally. I think the hourglass packs are better than the actual opening packs, but you know, not the same feeling of dopamine, I guess. Like it's more valuable to be like, hey, I want to try for that card. Oh, I have a 20% chance of getting it, as opposed to opening a pack and having like a 1% chance.
I mean, you can look up the rates. You can see the rates.
I mean, that's where I got all my EXs. That's where I got a lot of my EXs are from picking cards. Mm-hmm. The rates are just so low in packs that it's like, I don't know. It took me 40 packs to get to my first EX in the new expansion. Like, and then I got them back to back, including an immersive, but
I was okay. So when you first download the game, it basically gives you an EX, but it makes it look like you're opening one.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be like that with the expansion because I kid you not, the first pack I opened had the full art Celebi.
Oh no.
So I'm like, oh, what a good EX you have gotten with my free EX. And then I'm like, oh wait, this isn't for everyone. Oh, my bad. Oh,
I was just lucky. It turns out I was lucky.
Yeah, I was just lucky. Oh, turns out, because it was the first pack, so I'm like, oh, they're doing that thing where every time you open a pack.
I had saved up a bunch of hourglasses and opened like 25 the first day and got like 4 golems and no EXs.
Although Golem's a good deck. Golem is a good deck.
Lots of full arts though. Lots of full arts. So I was happy. I was content enough.
The superior full art gives me joy.
It's a good one. I mean, I love the Salandit too. The Salandit's adorable.
It's also it's usable too. Yeah, slap it into your poison decks.
I believe Pokemon Go also attempted Dynamax this year.
They released Petarant this year.
They try. I mean, okay, so I only know because I opened it up for the first time recently.
I don't understand their thought process there and saw new raids.
I'm upset that they like came up with the Dynamax mechanic at the same time as like raids for Pokemon Go, right? And then they decided, hey, you know what? Let's wait another 5 years to come out with the exact same mechanic again, but in Pokemon Go. And I don't understand, honestly. And it's not done well, because it's really hard to solo anything but the 1-stars. And they also limit the number of people that can join you to even lower. It's a very confusing mechanic to me. The 1-stars are a lot of fun, actually. Like, it's kind of a blast to go do the 1-stars.
My issue with the 1-stars are they're usually Pokemon with Gigantamaxes. And if they have Gigantamaxes, you would rather use your resources for those Pokemon and not powering up the 1-stars. So it just doesn't make sense to me anyway.
It's a weird mechanic. I don't know.
It's like I would rather be powering up something that doesn't have a Gigantamax.
Like I'm gonna upset my friend Ryan. Hi Ryan, and my friend Mark. Hi Mark. And they're listening right now. And they like I don't know. I just feel like Pokemon Go is just kind of flailing a little bit at this point. Like they don't know what they're gonna do because they don't really have much left in the next couple of years, right? I mean, we'll probably get a couple new Pokemon from Pokemon Legends Z to A.
I have seen a lot of angry fans over the past like 3 months just because they've been releasing so few new Pokemon, and the new Pokemon they release,
there aren't that many left,
are super timed, and they're only in eggs for a certain amount of time. Like Toxel, for instance, was only in like 10k eggs for a week.
Hate that.
They wanted you to buy incubators so that you could get a Toxel, and everyone's upset about that. And then the next week they were like, okay, well, here's Galarian Corsola in an egg, but at least that one stayed. And then the week after that, it was like Sinistes and raids only. It's like, oh, okay. And then it's going to stay right now. No, it's not. So I've seen a lot of people upset about how they've been releasing the Pokemon lately. Looks like Fido's at least going to be doable this week and this weekend. So
yeah, it seems just really it's like Sublime was saying, they've caught up, and I don't know that they came up with a a good sustainable model for things to do in Pokemon Go.
Yeah, it's like when the dog catches the train or the bus, right? It's like, oh, you got it, now what?
I just don't think, I mean, I think the introduction of like the seasons that they've done is very interesting, and I think it's really cool. I just don't, and honestly, as like a more casual player of Pokemon Go, because as I've said in the past, like Pokemon Go is a supplement to my fandom, and it is not my fandom, right? I can still find joy in Pokemon Go because I haven't kept up with everything and min-maxed and try to get everything as soon as it comes out, right? Like I'm still level 40. I'm not even 41 or anything, right? I'm taking my sweet time. I think doing that has made it a more sustainable game for me, but I know there's like the core player base, you know, the kind of people that like listen to other like Pokemon Go centric podcasts, and not our show, because honestly, I dunk on Pokemon Go a lot. I know that I just see that it doesn't seem to be a lot of sustainability for those types of players, and I don't know what you do once you catch all of the Pokemon are in the game, right? Like there's not a lot left to do.
I mean, I guess they have verses, but I don't know.
Honestly, if I
like, you could always be going for a better PvP Pokemon.
Like, I think a cooler way to do it would be to introduce, I know they've introduced gym badges to some extent, but I think it would be really cool if like, I also think Team Rocket's actually implemented like in a very interesting and unique way.
Yeah, Team Rocket was good for that.
As well as like Shadow Pokemon. I think that's all done very well. Pokemon Go has done those types of things really well, but I think what would be really cool is like bring more in-universe characters to Pokemon Go, right? Like, okay, Pokemon TCG Pocket has the original 8 gym leaders in the opening set. What if those 8 gym leaders are just scattered in Pokemon Go? Like certain gyms can have a chance to have a gym leader at them. Yeah, and if you go fight those gym leaders, you get special gym badges.
For like a season or something, yeah.
And your Pokemon can get like you get the best buddy ribbon or whatever. You get like the Cascade badge on your Pokemon because you beat Misty. I think there's some goodness in something like that. Because Pokemon, like Pokemon Masters EX, which is a game that I think Shark plays, and I don't know who else.
Not me anymore.
But Pokemon Masters does really well because of the characters. Like they lean on the Pokemon characters, not just the Pokemon themselves. Because Pokemon the franchise is more than just the Pokemon themselves. It is the characters. It is a lot of the memories and the stories and stuff like that. And Team Rocket was a very, very good call on that. And I think that they could do something similar if they leaned into that part of the history of Pokemon, right? I think that would be very good. I think so. I really do.
I think they could make something out of it, yeah.
I'm gonna end my Pokemon Go rant there, but the last thing that I wanted to talk about is I think this Shiny Rayquaza thing that I don't understand, but I'm really hyped about. It was really cool. So thanks for that, Pokemon. That's all I can say. Like just like how Scarlet and Violet's not over yet. Okay.
Scarlet and Violet started and ended strong this year. Like they had Petron early on, and then they ended.
Petron was good too. That's true. Petron was good. That's true.
Yeah, they started. Yeah, like it started the year with Petron, ended the year with Shiny Rayquaza. That's solid. I mean, the starters got kind of boring in between, but you know.
I do think that like I do think that Shiny Rayquaza, like the Shiny Rayquaza hype, is really fun and cool. And I hope that they keep doing more things like that. Like this is done in such a way. Like they've tried it before. I remember with like the Zeraora event in Gen 8. This just feels like the way more hyped version of that, because everything is coalescing. Like the anime is playing into it. They made a Shiny Rayquaza sitting cutie, like exclusive. Like this is the only one that's shiny sitting cutie. Like that's so cool.
Yeah, it's something that like you don't want to see it every month, right? But if it happened twice a year, that would be sweet. Like do something around Worlds and then do something right now, like around Christmas. Got nothing else going on.
I wish they would do it a little bit more often than they are. Like I want more than just like one a year. Like we got Rayquaza one a year. I think 3 a year is very sustainable.
Maybe you could do 3 a year.
Worlds and Christmas, and that's like perfectly spaced, honestly.
Yeah, you could do Pokemon Day, Worlds, and Christmas or something.
I would accept that.
I mean, Christmas and Pokemon Day are a little close, but I think it's fine.
Yeah, that's true. They do a good job with that.
They do good stuff with seasonals. They're usually pretty on it with like small.
Oh, they're pretty good with it. I just really like this Rayquaza thing, and they do always do something around the holidays, especially in game, to like hype up players who get the game at Christmas, right? So I'm all for that.
Yeah, and this is accessible. Like the little Timmy who gets his game isn't going to be like too bad as long as he's got like something strong. He'll be okay. Unlike Mewtwo, where he'd kick your butt if you didn't know what you were doing. I feel like they got feedback on Mewtwo and they're like, oh, it was a little too hard. Let's fix it up a little bit.
All right. Well, I don't have anything else. Do you guys have anything else you wanted to try to cover?
I can't wait for 2025 to be bigger. Yeah, you know.
After allowing them, like I'm.
VGC banned legendaries. That was neat.
And they're coming back like this Sunday.
And they're gonna allow them again. They just take turns with that stuff. Yeah. You just have to embrace the cycle with the VGC.
I mean, yes, they're coming back. I mean, I was happy without Urshifu. Keep Urshifu away. I don't want Urshifu next game.
You get your local decks, then your national decks, then your legend decks, you know?
And then, yeah, but then we got our band decks, and the band decks is cool. I mean, there was a little too much Dragonite, but, you know, it was fine.
I do love when they ban things. Those are my favorite.
But you know what? I'm glad that Dragonite is still, you know, around and kicking. Good for Dragonite. Dragonite deserves some W's.
Yeah, next time let's ban Incineroar too, please. We can live without him. And Rillaboom.
Who knew Rillaboom, you know? Who knew Rillaboom would be the new Incineroar in terms of starters that broke?
I feel like Rillaboom is much more balanced and more tolerable than Incineroar.
Yeah, it turns out when you don't give other good I think the issue is that we don't have good Misty or electric terrain users. Like, that's the big issue. Pincurchin is bad, and
You don't love Pincurchin? No, that is 100% the big issue. Yeah, it is.
And, like, Weezing is never going to use Misty terrain over neutralizing gas, right? Like...
Misty Terrain's the worst one anyway. Misty is the worst terrain, yeah.
There's never a world.
Misty Terrain was actually super...
On a Tapu Fini, sure, but, like, it's the only non-offensive boosting terrain, yeah.
I mean, it stops Sleep and Burn. It stops Amoonguss. Like, it's the least exciting, but it removes a lot of RNG. So, like, it's good.
Also, half dragon damage, like, that's cool. Half dragon damage is something that everybody forgets about.
It would stop Sneasler.
I mean, for good reason, because Fairy is so popular. I don't know. I feel bad for Misty Terrain. I want it to be better.
Yeah, it hurts Regidrago. That's nice. I'm sure we'll get a new... I'm sure Zeta A will give us a new terrain when they give us Tapu Bobo. It's fine.
Ooh, spicy. Okay, maybe terrains will be the new mechanic. They'll just, you know, hogwire. Yeah. Tapu Francais, okay?
All right. Well... that is going to be it for our topic. Let us know what your favorite part of Pokemon in 2024 was in the mailbag this week at PokePodcast@gmail.com. But until then, we are going to kick it on over to our Pokemon of the episode. We will catch you on the flip-flop.
Poke of the episode.
Welcome to our Pokemon of the episode. Our Pokemon of the episode this week is National Dex number 358, Chimeco, the Wind Chime Pokemon.
Its cries echo inside its hollow body to emerge as beautiful notes for startling and repelling foes.
Yeah, Chimeco.
Although that doesn't sound like it would repel if it's so pretty, you know?
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, Chimeco is a cool Pokemon. The only thing that
used it in Platinum for a while.
I like Chimeco as a Pokemon. I don't understand. Like, it's one of those Pokemon that in Gen 4, they were just like, what if we made a bunch of baby Pokemon? And, like, Munchlax,
and then we got
fine.
Chingling.
Munchlax is fine. Bonsley, I'm okay with. Happiny? Did we need that? Mantike,
Probably didn't need to happen.
Probably didn't need to happen.
If we got Mantike, we should have gotten something for Skarmory.
Where's Scarchick?
Where's Scarchick?
Yeah, where's the Skarmory chick?
Yeah, we shouldn't have gotten Chingling. I'm just saying Chingling probably didn't need to exist. It
could have been the baby Miltank Tauros. No, they aren't.
No, and so you could have just caught Chimeco instead of catching Chingling, but that's fine. It's fine. It exists now. That's unfortunate for all of us. But I do really like, I don't know, Chimico has grown on me over the years. Like at first I was just like, this is just kind of a weird Pokemon to exist. And now I'm just like, no, it's just one of my favorite, like, this Pokemon exists in the world of Pokemon for flavor. I think that's one of the best Pokemon for flavor in the entire franchise, honestly. That is of my opinion.
I remember it taking forever for me to find one originally in Pokemon Sapphire.
Oh, and
like,
Ruby and Sapphire, I think they're the 1%. They're the 1% encounter, or like one of the 1% encounters.
They were miserable over on the in the graveyard. Essentially,
I'm gonna find out right now. I'm pretty sure it's a 1% encounter.
1% encounters are evil.
I forget the
Maybe we
name
should
of the
get rid
graveyard.
Okay, I was wrong. It's
It might
not
have
a
been
1%
5%,
encounter,
but
it's a 2% encounter. Okay.
Well, that's only half as evil.
It's 2%.
1%
anything below
evil.
5 is evil. Okay, anything below 5.
I don't disagree.
Even 5 is rough.
Disagree.
Yeah, 5 is rough. I remember that because I remember getting Pokemon Black and White 2, and Riolu is a 5% encounter, like very early on.
Yeah.
That took forever.
Oh, I remember digging for Riolu. But being able to use, like, are you kidding? That's the only time in any Pokemon game you could use it that early. And Lucario breaks that game in half.
I love games that give you certain Pokemon very early, specifically like the Pokemon that when in the games they were introduced, they were late game catches, right? Like I think
my favorite instance of this is Salamence in Alola. Salamence in Alola.
That's a good one where you can go through the game with a Bagon.
That's a good one. The level 10, the level 10 Salamence from the Cry.
You can cheese a level 10 Salamence. There is the other one I really like is I like Phanpy, like because very early on Phanpy was only catchable endgame, and I mean in Pokemon Crystal, sure you could have caught one like early 5% encounter chance. It's a pain in the butt, but you can go ahead and catch one very easily in Scarlet and Violet, which I think is really awesome. To be able to just go catch Phanpy and be able to use it in a game where it actually gets moves.
Or any game where I can use Houndour. Love that.
Yeah, no, that's good too.
Does it have ground
Scarlet and
moves
Violet
yet,
was
no?
one of those.
It sure was.
It was. I do love when you can catch certain Pokemon like very early on in the game. It's just it feels so good. It feels so good. I don't know. And so like Chimico we're back on Chimico. Chimico Shiny's okay. It's okay.
Chimico is a Pokemon that is more about the design than
it's about the world building more than usability.
Yeah, exactly. Not every Pokemon needs to be, a suit.
No, it doesn't need to be a powerhouse. I think Chimico, like I was saying earlier, like there are some Pokemon that exist for flavor, right?
And
of the
Chimico
Pokemon
is
world.
great flavor.
Yes.
Agree.
I think there's a lot of Pokemon like that.
It is a bell. It is not a strong bell.
No. Chimico also, I was talking to you guys about this earlier when we were talking about it. It does have my favorite like illustration rare in the modern Pokemon TCG. I can't show it to you on this audio podcast, but I do tell you to go look up the Twilight Masquerade Chimico illustration rare. Very pretty card. I ended up pulling like 2 or 3 of them in Twilight Masquerade because it was more worthwhile to pull Twilight Masquerade than it has been to pull like Stellar Crown.
Oh, it's a really it's such a small set.
Twilight Masquerade or Stellar Crown?
Oh no, never mind. I'm thinking of the
TCG Pocket's a small set.
The new set is.
Yeah.
No, I was thinking of the Petron set, which is a similar
the
name,
Petron. Oh, the Shrouded Fable set. Yeah, I didn't pull much of the Shrouded Fable.
Yeah.
I think I cracked.
I confused the two.
I cracked a couple packs of Shrouded Fable until I pulled like a Pheasantipity EX, and then after I pulled the Pheasantipity EX, I just went and bought everything else I wanted from that set because
even then buying the Pheasantipity is not even that expensive.
Pheasantipity
right?
at the time was like $10 a card, which wasn't terrible, but it's like I
think it's still like 8 to 10, but
it is because it's just that good. It's like a good card. I hate that they come from like a special set. It's also a lot of fun for me and my wife. Like when we play Pokemon TCG,
I assume it'll be
to just like
reprinted in the
Oh, absolutely. To like when my wife and I collect TCG, it's always cool to have an excuse to open packs. You know what I mean? And so like I go, okay, these are the cards that are competitively viable.
That's fair.
And I go, these are the cards we want to pull. And so then we go until we pull like one or two, and then we're just like, okay, I'll buy the rest. You know?
Yeah.
But yeah, unfortunately, I don't know if there's a Chimeco in that set. Which is okay. There weren't a lot of cards in that set, actually. It's a very, very small set. The Pheasant, the Shrouded Table.
No, it's a very small set.
Dude, Pheasant Dippity
Unless you're
EX
like the
is
Loyal
up to like
3 or
$13
Duskmorn,
a card.
you know?
Oh, that's disgusting.
Oh, wow. It rose.
I don't like that.
Sell now.
Ew.
How much is the full art, dude? Don't even get me started. One of the cards I am upset that I never I never sold that I should have back in like the Sun and Moon days. My wife and I barely ever bought singles, and my wife and I bought we bought a bunch of like Guardians Rising in different products and stuff like that, and we pulled something like 8 Tapu Leles, which were like $40 a piece back in that day for everybody back home. And I
Before
just
the
never
reprint,
sold
yeah,
them.
yeah.
I never got around to selling them, and I'm so upset about that. Because I should have gone around and sold them like in the last format that they were viable in, and just like made all of our money back. But now I've got like 8 Tapu Lele GXs.
Yeah, I think they eventually reprinted it in a box set.
It got a promo, but it was worth something for a while. But this is supposed to be about Chingling. Or not Chingling, Chimeco. Were there other things you wanted to say about Chimeco, Sigma, that you appreciate about it?
It
Probably
floats.
not.
I don't know why it floats, but it floats. I mean,
This is also one of
it has levitate.
This is
Like,
one of the
that's
Pokemon that
it.
does not have a hidden ability as well. I find it so fascinating that when Pokemon don't have hidden abilities, it's so fascinating to me. Like I get it for Chimeco.
It's like this thing floats, and that's all it does.
Yeah, that is all it does. You are correct.
It doesn't
like,
battle
its move
either.
pool-
It's built as a support
pool
Pokemon.
is not- Yeah, it's terrible support Pokemon if it is a support Pokemon.
It has Ally Switch, which
Its
you
speed
can't
is
say about a lot of
65. It's not
Pokemon.
doing-
Every
it's not
psychic
doing
type
well.
has ally switch.
It's not doing well.
It's not good.
No.
It could use an evolution, and no one would
You know,
bat an eye.
It's happened
Or consider
before.
Eviolite Chimeco. But
Yeah, I don't know. I say that a lot of Pokemon could use an evolution, but I don't know if I mean that they should get an evolution. You know what I mean? It kind of goes back to that flavor thing. Like some Pokemon just need to be bad and
maybe.
exist as like world building flavor.
I really want Macargo to get an evolution, but that's
that one's not doing any world building flavor,
Macargo
so
would
I'm
be
okay
fun.
with that.
like Macargo really.
I mean, but
needs something.
Yeah, it does.
so I'd be okay with I feel like it should be like a Psychic Steel at this point.
I always
I could
wanted a
understand
fire
why
steel
at the
type out of
belt.
it. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's what we're
I could
getting in
understand
Legend
why
Z
they
to
didn't
A.
want to do Psychic Steel.
Legend
We'll
Z
see,
to A.
maybe- Yeah, Mega Escargo. Yeah, Mega.
No, not even Mega. I just think it's going to be like an Ursaluna situation where
That's
it gets an
more what I
evolution
meant.
and everybody's just like,
Or like
Yeah.
a Hisuian evolution to it, equivalent. Yeah.
everybody's just like, yeah, I guess that Pokemon can evolve. That's how I felt when Ursaluna came out. I was like, I guess technically Ursaluna
I mean, you
could evolve, sure.
you have to pray that it gets the Ursaluna treatment and not the Avalug treatment, right?
Avalug. Poor Hisuian Avalug.
Hisuian Avalug is not an improvement.
No,
Some
it
would
is
say
not.
Actually, many
What
would
if
say
we
it's a
took
downgrade.
the worst defensive type and combined it with the other worst defensive type?
And it's like, this is defensive
And say,
Pokemon.
this is
yes.
a defense Pokemon. I'm like, why do you hate Avalug? I'm just
Poor
curious, like, why do
Avalug.
you hate it?
I don't know. I don't know. They had like an opportunity to make it like an interesting Pokemon, and then they just kind of were just like, but what if we just didn't make it interesting or make people like it even more? They just made it worse.
I
feel
want
like
to. I want to know who the
Pokemon has just
Hisuian
decided to
Avalug fans are that
continuously
aren't
troll
fans of
ice
regular
types.
Avalug.
Yep.
I'm curious.
That's just what it is.
Who are you?
I am getting slightly annoyed. I am still annoyed by the handling of like Hisuian evolutions. By the way, they need to fix Weird here, and they need to fix Ursaluna in the games. I should be able to evolve my Stantler, and I should be able to evolve my Ursaring in Scarlet and Violet. Why can I not do this?
And Cleavor as well.
And Cleavor,
Cleavor
yeah.
as well.
Cleavor's even worse because they let me catch it in Scarlet and Violet around Black Auguryte. Like, they let me do it.
Like, the item ones have no excuse.
No, they don't. The item ones have zero excuse. And, I mean, the fact that, like, I can catch a Hisuian quillfish just in the game is even more, like, a slap in my face.
And they patched it so it could evolve. I think it originally couldn't.
And then they fixed it with Blueberry Academy. You're absolutely right.
They could have patched Stantler.
I fully believe that in Gen 10 they will fix all of that, and it's just going to all operate the way we think it should.
There's a world where I could see Hisuian's Gudra still being difficult to get. And
Hisuian Gudra, Hisuian Zorua, though granted, I think Hisuian Zorua is going to fall down like the
I mean, Zorua doesn't matter. It probably will be
I think it's going to fall down the same rabbit hole as like a Alolan Vulpix, where it's just a good design.
It's respected as a real Pokemon.
It's just a good design. Yeah.
Everyone loves it, and we don't care that it shows up all the
exactly.
time. We don't question it. It's just there, and we're cool with it.
Honestly, yes. You're absolutely correct.
And then you get art with both of them.
Yep.
And we love that too.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, okay. This has been Chimeco. Sorry for the lack of Chimeco.
Yeah, good old Chimeco. Yeah.
But
we said what needed to be said about Chimeco.
Sure did.
Exactly. All right. Well, we're gonna kick it on over then to our mailbag.
It's mail time! Send in your emails! Mail!
Welcome to our mailbag this week. Our mailbag segment is usually where you write into PokePodcast@gmail.com with an answer to the question. Last week it was, what Pokemon should evolve? However, we did not get any emails or I misplaced them. One of those two things happened. It is very possible it's the latter due to the 2-week break in between. If you would like to email us next week, you can email us next week at PokePodcast@gmail.com and let us know what your favorite part of Pokemon in 2024 was. It could be personal. It could be anything. I'm very excited to see what you guys have to say. But with that, I did want to read a couple things because we might not have had emails that Thatch can find, but we do have YouTube comments. People do leave us YouTube comments. And I did want to, that are answering the question. So thank you for those of you who leave YouTube comments and answer the question. I do read them. And so we do have one that I would like to highlight today. And that is from Thrive5462. Yo, Puckle Peeps, I would give a baby Evo to Miltank. A little calf with a zoned out expression. It needs to also evolve into Tauros. We agree about that, right?
It's a split evolution, yes.
It's a split evolution. It's what we all expected Kricketot to be. Until Kricketot evolved into Kricketune. Not sure about the name. Little Mill? Milcar? Milcar is too close to Milcery.
I feel like it would have calf in it somewhere.
Add a K in there.
Calf. It would have to be calf. Then I would give Miltank an Evo based on an abducted cow that aliens experimented on. Okay.
Ooh. Psychic.
It could be green.
Psychic normal. The Evo is green, standing on his hind legs, and otherwise looks like a Miltank with antennas.
Yeah, I see it.
The Milufa or Millape, the Miltank Evo is holding its udders like, okay, I can't.
Can't go that far.
We're not gonna get into that.
Thanks for letting me express that. I could as much as I could. Also, I was excited to hear...
You know where to find the comment.
Thanks for letting me express that. I was excited to hear about the Stormlight Archive as well. I recently picked up the first 3 books. On that note, I'm reading the first Law trilogy by Joe Abercrombie. Oh, I did see those. I haven't read those yet. And I recommend it for a more casual, high fantasy fictional work. If you get to read it or have my favorite, or already have, my favorite character is the Cripple Glotka. I will remember that. I have seen those books and they are on my to-read list, but I have a lot of things in the way. I just finished Wind and Truth today, so I do need to... I've got another book lined up. I just need to sit down and get started on it. All right. Well, thank you for that one, Thrive. I did want to give you guys more of a segment today, so we are also going to play Pokemon 15 questions, where your co-hosts, Sublime and Sigma, are going to try to guess a Pokemon by asking that I have in my head and on my internet page, and try to guess who that Pokemon is by asking me yes or no questions. I believe we also play with the rule where you can't just ask about Pokedex Pokedex numbers.
Pokedex numbers, because that's not fun.
Because it's not fun. You're just playing the game of elimination.
Pokedex numbers are not fun.
Which is what 15 questions is.
Yeah, but it's not about the Pokemon.
It's not about the Pokemon. It's about what number it is, So with that, I will let you guys begin to play. I have the Pokemon, and so I am ready whenever you guys are.
All right. I'll start this off with, is it a fire, water, or grass type Pokemon?
Is this Pokemon part of an evolutionary line?
Okay. Let's go fantasy core. Yeah. So fairy, dragon, or steel type.
Ooh, not the cores. Ooh, we got rid of the cores.
That's 6 types gone.
Is this Pokemon dual type?
No.
Monotype. Okay.
Okay. Is this Pokemon on 4 legs?
No.
Not on legs.
Not on 4 legs.
Not on 4 legs. Is this Pokemon fully evolved?
Yes. That's 6 questions, by the way. We're on 6.
Okay. Love that.
All right. I kind of want to get a type narrowed down. So let's go with, is this Pokemon psychic, dark, or ice?
No.
All right. There's half of them gone.
Yeah, that is half of them.
I mean, flying is gone too, but
You never know.
No, from what we know, flying is out of the picture. There is no highest level flying type Pokemon part of a evolutionary line. Like, flying is just gone.
You're right. Not flying. So we're down to...
More than half, then. Wow, you're down to 8.
So we got 10 gone.
Got 8 left.
We're down to 8. Okay. Let me see what 8 types are left. So electric, normal, rock, ground, go. No, we said go. No, we did not say ghost. Oh, does this Pokemon have an immunity because of its type?
Yes.
Oh, that was a good one during TCG times. All right.
Immunity due to type.
That I don't know how much that helps us, though, because I feel like most of the...
That helps us a fair amount. Okay, because it can't be steel, because that was already eliminated. So that leaves ghost, ground, normal. It can't be flying.
Oh, no, it can't be flying. We got rid of flying.
Exactly.
Through technicalities, we got rid of flying.
Yeah, that, I think, narrows it down very quickly. What other types have an immunity that we didn't get rid of already?
So it's not poison type. We got rid of poison type.
And it's we got rid of dark, too. So I think the only 3 possible types...
No, dark it...
Because you ask, is it psychic, dark, or ice?
Yeah, I got rid of dark.
So I think it's either ghost, ground, or normal.
Okay. So...
6 questions left.
So, is this Pokemon weak to fighting?
No.
So it's not normal. Not normal. Okay, is this Pokemon a ghost type?
Yes.
Okay, it's like fully evolved ghost type that is only a ghost type.
A fully evolved mono ghost type. So, Dusk Noir and Banette.
Mismagius.
Yep. Most... Coffagrigus.
Was this Pokemon introduced in Diamond and Pearl?
No.
Okay, that eliminates 2 of those.
All right, so we're at Banette.
So Coffagrigus.
Banette, Coffagrigus, and...
Banette, Coffagrigus.
It's not Greavard, so that's good to know. Because Greavard's a quadruped. Were there any other ghosts in later games?
Monoghost?
Monoghost is... Cursula is one.
Yeah, that's true.
Just making sure we don't go down a path without...
Or Poltegeist too, right?
Poltegeist as well, yeah. So do we ask about Gen 8 then, since there's 2 there?
Yeah, let's ask about Gen 8. That'll eliminate 2 of them.
Was this Pokemon originally introduced in Galar?
No.
So I think that gets us down to Coffagrigus and Banette, right?
Yep. Unless there's another one we're not thinking of. Which there could be.
There could be. We already got rid of Dusknoir and Mismagius.
I think most of the ghosts in Gen 6 were all double type.
A lot of ghosts are not. Yeah, they're all grass. They keep it grassy. Keep it classy.
I mean, there was steel too, but yeah.
And that one. Oh, of course. Who could forget that one? Is this Pokemon... How many questions do we have left? That's not a question.
3. You have 3 left.
Okay, cool. I think that's just enough. All right, is this Pokemon a possessed, discarded child's toy?
No.
All right, so it's not bad. Does this Pokemon have a... How do we even put this?
Does it have the mummy ability?
I was going to ask if it was like part of a evolutionary line that has a split evolution with the regional I don't know how you'd even say that. Yeah, does this Pokemon have the mummy ability?
Is this Pokemon Cofagrigus?
It is. In 15 questions, you got that today.
Yay! Huzzah.
Huzzah. Huzzah indeed. All right. Well, if you want to email us next week, make sure you do so at pucklepodcast@gmail.com. If you want to keep up with us throughout the week, check out our socials, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and Blue Sky. I need to put that in the show notes. I keep forgetting to put that in the show notes. Additionally...
Oh, the Blue Sky part?
The Blue Sky part needs to go in the show notes. I keep forgetting. I won't forget this Sunday when I post the episode. And then, of course, you can go ahead and you can follow us over at YouTube at youtube.com/PucklePodcast. You can also go ahead and follow us over at Twitch at twitch.tv/ThePucklePodcast, where I will be streaming, I think, Wednesdays for like the foreseeable future. So come on down. I've been doing really well. I actually did like a full month of actual like streams on the calendar. I'm very proud of myself.
As you should.
I should be. It was a lot of work. And then with that, you can also help support the show by going to trollandtoad.com and using code PucklePod5 at checkout if you want to get some shiny cardboard. Maybe you could pull that Chimeco card I was talking about. Additionally, you can go ahead and go to our Patreon at patreon.com/PucklePodcast, where there's a bunch of goodies. And I might post those emails I found in that binder over there because they should not be posted anywhere public at all, ever. But yeah, with that, guys, I have been Trainer Thatch.
I continue to be Sublime.
And I've been R.Sigma.
And here in the Lavender Town Radio Tower, it's closing time.